Good evening. Just getting warmed up a little bit here. We're just starting up. Give me a couple of moments. I should be actually sketching momentarily. Good evening, everybody. I see a couple folks popping in. I appreciate you hanging out. Just getting started here. So if you give me a couple of moments, I will have everything set up. Here are a couple of the stickies that we've already um, created. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get situated here. So we did a request session last night where I was drawing requests from different folks. We had a couple of people message me afterwards asking for something that they missed during the show. I figured I'd pop back on here this evening. We'll do a little more sketching. If anybody would like to make a request, pick up a request commission, that kind of a thing, feel free. Otherwise, we'll just start doodling away here and see what we can see. Also streaming on YouTube at the same time as I do this. I noticed last night a few folks had thrown some requests into those comments there. I'll try to do a better job of keeping up on that one this evening. Typically, though, I do watch the Whatnot feed a little more regularly. So if you're watching over on YouTube, welcome. Appreciate y'all tuning in. But if you head over to Whatnot, you have opportunities to purchase some pieces along the way, order up a commission, that kind of a thing. If you're new to Whatnot, and if you're over on YouTube, feel free to use my link in that caption there to sign up, and you'll get free $15 credit to spend anywhere you wish inside of Whatnot. Not just with me, although that would be pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. Hey, Guster. Welcome back. I put your sticky out in the mail today. Should be on its way. No, thank you. I had so much fun yesterday with the requests. I figured I'll just hop on here and do a little bit more tonight. I know I had a message from someone who had just tuned in right before I logged off last night, and they were interested in getting one. So we'll see if they're able to pop back in here tonight. Otherwise, we're gonna draw a little bit and just have some fun. Because why not? It's not a bad way to spend your Tuesday evening, if I do say so. I'm also going to begin adding some more shows that go a little, in addition to the sticky notes. So we're going to do some comic sketch covers, things like that down the road. So keep an eye out for some of those shows. Hey, HTX, welcome. Hey, Punch, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. Had some fun last night, so we thought we'd tune in here and we'll try it again and just do a little sketching for a little bit. HTX, I'm kind of doing a little practice round on the character that you had suggested. If you like this one and it turns out to be the one that you want, great, let me know. Otherwise, I'm happy to do another one after this. If you have a different sticky note color preference, that kind of a thing. Oh, thank you, HTX. I see that you just picked that up. Let me know, like I said, if you're okay with this one or if you want me to do it differently. That's totally fine. I know I just started this one up before you popped on here. All right, well, I appreciate it. We'll keep it in mind. You can, as we get closer on, if you change your mind, no worries, just let me know. But I am gonna just kind of sketch away. Let me see if I can find some of my markers here. How is everyone's Tuesday gone for you? I hope everybody's having a good day out there. If anybody is new to the type of work I do, feel free to, you can take a look around the shop area. I've got some stickies preloaded, as well as a few other sketch covers and things that I've drawn. You can get a sense of my style, the type of stuff I do, that kind of a thing. Just getting off work. Oh yeah. My day's okay. What kind of work do you do, HTX? My day's been okay. Just kind of getting warmed up here at the drawing board. Lots of errands and things like that we've been running today. But Punch says thoughts are with the families in Baltimore. Absolutely, yeah. That's been horrible. I was watching some of that news coverage this morning. That's can't even imagine that situation. What's going on over there? So HTX, I heard you say you were just getting off of work. What do you do? Oh, auditor quality control for a hospital. Interesting. I used to work for a health system down here in Florida. where I did like content creation. I worked in their marketing team. So social media, writing, all of that kind of stuff. Very good. Well, I'm sure you're glad to be home now. So, did I like it? Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was interesting. It was a different type of work for sure. It was something I kind of accidentally fell into. I wasn't. I hadn't really set out to be in healthcare as a career, um, but the right opportunity found me at the right time. They had created this position in their marketing department, so I was able to go in and just do a different form of storytelling there. And what was neat was, I think my light is shifting a little bit here. What was neat was I got to really see and interact with people who I might not have normally had access to. Like I got to film and take photos inside of ORs and things, which was pretty wild. So definitely, it was a cool experience. 13 years later, yeah. Yeah, time certainly does have a way of getting away from us, doesn't it? That was sort of my experience with local news, which I did before the hospital and sort of opened the door for me at the hospital. But I was in local news. I did a lot of content creation, photojournalism, video, and stuff um, for them. And that was one of those situations where it was like before I knew it, more than a decade had gone by. Come on. Why are my pens acting up? These are new pens. Why are they acting up? Yeah. Michelle says, I love her eyes. Thank you. Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate that. Try and clean up some of these pencil marks. Sometimes I leave the pencil marks in just as sort of a little bit of extra texture and character. I do like, I know in the work that I sort of like for myself, I like having some of those raw pencils underneath. But I try to, I think, clean hers up a little bit here for you. Guess it's all how I'm feeling at the moment, right? Thanks. So HTX, have you purchased art from other whatnot artists? That's interesting. Yeah, I was curious. You just said that I had somebody last night who. Hang on, let me focus so I don't mess up her line there. But there was someone on my show last night who does the same thing and gets a certain character from everybody. Bucky and Casey. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so you guys have crossed paths then. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Well, I'm certainly happy to contribute to the collection. So, do you have a specific place where you get to display your collection, or how do you keep them alive? Like, I feel like it'd be kind of neat to have like a certain wall or space dedicated to all of these different works. Where is everybody in the chat tonight? Where are y'all located? I am based down here in Southeast Florida, an area known as the Treasure Coast, if anyone happens to be familiar with it. It's called that just because of the number of old shipwrecks and treasures and things that have been found off of our coast over the last 100 years or so, a couple 100 years, however long it's been. Texas. Very cool. How do you like it there in Texas, HTX? HTX says I displayed in the room. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that description of where you display too. Having a dedicated collectibles room is pretty neat. Kansas for Guster. Oh yeah, yeah. It's one of the more popular things for this region is when divers go out and find that stuff. I will say there's like one specific group that has the rights to the salvage rights to the area though, so it's always interesting if you can't just kind of go out diving and find anything. You've got to be mindful of where you are and just know that somebody already owns that area, at least for treasure purposes. I'm also by no means an expert, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Oh yeah, hot and humid. Yeah, that's pretty much our entire lifestyle here. So I can certainly relate to that. I was born and raised, I've grown up in Florida here, and I still to this day, I don't feel like I'm ever adapting or getting used to that heat and humidity. Mhm. Sunny Florida, yes, indeed. Not quite rainy season yet where I'm at, but it's getting close for sure. Certainly will be soon enough, though, right? Welcome, Syrup. Welcome to anyone else who has just popped into the chat here. Just working on finishing up this first sticky for the night. We're getting close. HTX, what are you thinking? This look okay for you? Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Doing some more requests this evening if anybody has any. We did one last night, request show, and it was pretty fun. So I'm finishing up HTX's request here. And if anybody else has any, let me know. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I like adding a little texture, a little bit of abstraction into the background. No real rhyme or reason to those. I just kind of grab a little color, throw them in the background, and then we go from there. All right. So now. Have you picked up any artwork or done any commissions at comic shows or anything, HTX? Okay. Okay, cool. No worries. Just curious. I've always enjoyed kind of roaming around the show floors and stuff too. And I want to get more of that stuff just for my own collection, but I haven't quite pulled the trigger on anything yet. But this is here what we got. Does that look all right to you? If it is, I will go ahead and throw a quick signature on it, and then we'll frame it, and you, my friend, will be all set. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming in and picking that up tonight. I really do. And I know you said you got in late to last night's show, and you messaged me right after. So I'm glad I was able to hop back on tonight and do this one up. Hang on, just trying to figure out which one of these I want to use. Let me try this one. Oh, no worries. That is awesome, though. I like that whole community that I'm starting to see here in the Whatnot art scene. I'm still about less than a week into this. I'm still really new to streaming on Whatnot, but even just in the past week or so, I've noticed that there's a lot of really talented people doing cool stuff on here, and two, there really does seem to be that sense of community. So we'll go ahead, we'll throw it here in this frame for you. Let's move that over. Oh, you know what? There's a little debris in there. Let me take care of that. Thanks. Yeah, I like these little framed sticky notes. I'm sounding like a broken record to anybody who's been in my shows this week, but yeah, I get a kick out of these for sure. And they're small enough, 4 inches by 4 inches framed, that they fit just about anywhere. So there you go. I'll get that shipped off to you ASAP. Ah, no worries. Yeah, go make dinner. Have something good. All right, we'll get that off for you. If anybody else has any requests, um, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna probably let me see which one I can pull up here just for my own self. I just hopped over to the YouTube feed for a moment. I see Mummy in Space there. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in this evening. I'm mostly watching the Whatnot feed more directly. If you want to pop over and pick up some art or interact more that way, I'm over there. Otherwise, I don't want you to feel like I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you over here, but I guess I kind of am ignoring the YouTube feed a little bit. Okay, let's. To those of you that have just hopped in here, welcome. Thanks for hanging out this evening as we do a couple of sketches. I'm probably not going to stay on as long as I did last night. So if there are any requests, if there's anything you would really like to see, feel free to toss them in the chat, or you can go over and pick up the commission from the shop area, and I'll make sure that I can knock those out at least. Hey, Punch, welcome back. I am. I'm making the do here. If you were here last night, I'm not sure if you were here when I was doing Velma last night, but I'm trying to slowly but surely put together a Scooby Doo crew. One of the things I want to try to do with more of these sticky note sets is actually um, put together like series of them, like groupings that make sense that go together. I've done a little bit of that in the past, but I want to try to be a little more intentional with it. No, no one bought the Velma. I know in the first stream I did, somebody had asked if I was doing requests. They said they might be interested in some Scooby characters. They didn't. I don't know if they've been back in since though. I apologize, but I forget who it was that asked that first. Um, but Velma is still available. Oh, was you? Hey, Punch. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought it was a different name. Oh, well, we got Velma here. I'm working on Scooby tonight. Feel free if you're interested. I can go ahead. I think Velma might already be listed. I'm not sure if I got around to putting her up or not. You can check in the shop there and see if she's there. Otherwise, I can add Scooby once I get set up here. And if you're interested, I can. If you're interested in waiting for the series, if you would like the set, that's totally cool too. I can set these aside, and then once the set is done, you can take a look at that. Or if you are just interested in the individuals, that's totally cool too. Love the set. Okay, yeah, I'll set these aside. I'll have to. I'll pull the Velma down as soon as I'm able to get back in there. So I might work on some of the Scooby set then off of Whatnot just to kind of knock them out, and then maybe like when I get down to the last one or so, I'll bring them back into a live stream, and you can kind of take a peek at how they've all come together if that works for you. Cool. So tell me about your interest in Scooby. Are you more into the cartoon version? Some of the more live action movies that they did for a little bit there. What's the where did the fandom start? I guess is what I'm trying to ask. Just one of those things that connected with you. I get that. Fandom is funny that way. We all just kind of find the things that click with us and we like them. sometimes there's not really any other reasoning to it besides that, right? Aha, I get that too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, totally. I remember watching a lot of this stuff when I was a kid too. I'm not far off from your age there, so definitely there's a lot of nostalgia in some of the things that we grew up with. Permanent passion. I imagine with a tattoo, it does become a little more permanent, doesn't it? Well, like I always say, when it comes to some of the fandoms I've found, it's like there's certainly a lot worse ways that I could spend my time and my money. So I don't um, I don't mind that I collect comics or like to draw or some of the things I'm into. They're a little geekier, but hey, could be a lot worse. Well, I'm glad you came back and reminded me that it was you that was had requested these because honestly, that was either my first or my second show, and I was still kind of figuring all this out. What's my vice? DC or Marvel? So I grew up on Marvel comics primarily. The two books that I read extensively growing up that I grew up on were Uncanny X Men and Amazing Spider Man. So those are the two that I really kind of cut my teeth with in comics. There was a lot of others I would go into and I would read as well, but those were the two that I sort of extensively collected. And then, of course, they branched out into some of the different mutant books, some of the different Spidey books, different things like that. But so, does that mean you had a preference between one or the other? Were you a Marvel or a DC fan? I also gravitated into Image. I also gravitated into Valiant for a while. I kind of went into a lot of different phases, but X Men and Spidey were it for me. Mostly the what ifs. Yeah, the what ifs were interesting. I don't think I appreciated them as much at the time as much as I sort of do now, but they were. I liked some of the story, the that alternate universe kind of storytelling. Okay, what am I looking for? I'm trying to find. Sorry, I'm to the point in the show where I've lost my markers, and it's got to be staring me right in the face. But that's also why I'm really excited about the X Men '97 show, as I'm sure a lot of folks are. Just because, oh, there it is. That was a show you mentioned. Growing up watching Scooby, that X Men '97 was something that I really, really loved as a kid. in the 90s. There's Image. Oh yeah, the card sets were really fascinating. I actually still have stacks of them out in the garage. I've been looking through them recently, trying to figure out which ones I want to keep and if there's any that I want to try to part with after all these years. And the cards were really interesting. Image, I was there when Image started. I kind of followed along. I was, I followed McFarlane, Lee, Liefeld, all those guys when they started the new shop. I really wish I had spent some of those years though investing more in gold and silver age books. As I'm sure as I'm sure a lot of my contemporaries will also say. The number one. Yeah, I've still got way too many comics floating around. I mean, I love them. I'm not ready to get rid of all of them. I'm sure there's some I could part with, but it was just it was really a lot of fun to collect and especially to read them growing up. Um, yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't mean to. It's not a laugh. That is a. I feel your pain. Yikes. Yeah, but who knew at the time, right? I hope they were at least good cassettes. Yeah, I even want to look at some of the really low grade editions on some of those super key issues. I wouldn't mind trying to um, get into a significant book at a better cost because of that condition. I'm not at a point right now where I can really be investing in old comics, but it is something that is one of the things I like to watch on Whatnot, though, are some of these shows where they go through different keys and everything. Actually, it's part of my problem is I go back and forth on things because as much as I'd like to try to get back into collecting some of those key issues, I've also been on a really big kick to collect original art. And not even like commission stuff. Like I want pages. I want to start really picking up some interior page art from like books that I'm familiar with, books I've read, that kind of a thing, and just I'd love to get some of that into a collection. But all kinds of things we would all like, right? Okay, I might wrap it up after I finish this sketch, unless anybody else has a request that they would like to see. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat here. No worries. I appreciate you coming in and chatting a little bit. I'm just looking. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. If I did miss something, feel free to pop it back down in the chat. Um, but I'm right there with you on the Comic Con stuff though too. Actually, I just signed up to do an artist table at a local show in November. Not anything super massive or extensive, but local. So at least I'm not traveling to that. And I've done a couple of shows over the years, smaller shows. I want to try to get back into it, and kind of like with this whatnot thing. It's kind of neat to be able to sit here and do a little bit of sketching, chat with a few different people. I'm located in excuse me, like Southeast Florida. So I'm on the Treasure Coast. If you're familiar, we're sort of in between Orlando and Palm Beach. So that's my base of operations. And the show that I've signed up for is here in our area. We don't have too many shows in this area, so I was excited to see this one on the calendar. I mean, we certainly have shows throughout Florida, and there's a lot of opportunity to attend shows. This is just one that I felt like I could commit to from an Artist Alley standpoint. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Scooby here. Oh, okay. Okay, so you're a little bit north of me there, but very cool. How's your weather up there right now? Okay. Thanks. Yeah, so the frames are fun. I used to get these from AC Moore. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's a craft store similar to like Michael's or something. They have since gone out of business, but they used to sell these frames pretty extensively. I'll go in and clean up those edges a little bit. But they used to sell these a lot, and I was probably the only person really buying them. But they work great for these stickies. So we got Velma, we got Scooby. I'm going to go ahead and pull Velma off of the store until I get the set put together. I'll work on a few more of these, and I'll see you at a future show. We'll get that set off to you. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. Cool and rainy. I wish it was a little cooler down here every once in a while, but I think we've probably exhausted our cool days. But all righty, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Appreciate all the chat, all of the hanging out. Thanks for tuning in and joining me at the drawing board. All right, y'all, stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one.